Hello, this is the sixth video of Hydra coding challenge. And in this video, again, I pick one artwork from Recode project, recodeproject.com, which is a collection of artworks from the magazine Computer Graphics and Art from 1970s. Let's go. I'll try something that's simple, hopefully. This one, I would like to try this one. And actually what I found interesting, I just checked the artist's profile, and they have this website that has a nice collection, and one of the pages, if you go to this work, why am I seeing it in English? No, German. I can see it in English. Works, and then there's paintings, and then there's also prints. And I think this piece, not exactly the same, but something similar is there. And also, if you look at it, there are some colored works. This could be done in processing, something similar. Or this could be a nice example, because I was thinking like this Recode project is really nice initiative, but it's from the magazine that's grayscale or black and white. So I was just wondering like how to approach or to have some example that are color. Today I will just do this black and white work, but eventually I want to check out some works. Maybe like, for example, Joseph Albers can be interesting inspiration. In the next videos, maybe I will try those. Okay, so I'll show the image here and let's go. So this time, I think I should start with a shape, 99. Let's see what I can do. If I do 1, 0, this would probably fill the space, the canvas. I think this is a good starting point, because if you look at the image, they're not actually, so it's a grid, but it's a circle inside a grid, one piece of grid. It's shifted. Either it's just shifted or duplicated. So let's start with those small elements. So in order to do that, I think it's, if you just do scroll X, that's not what I want. Again, scroll X will wrap it around. So instead here I want to do a bit wordy, but modulate solid. There are different ways to do that. I think one hacky shorthand is something like this. So anyways, it will move for 0.5 and there's no wrapping. Cool. And let's say repeat. How many are there in this grid? 10 by 10. Oops. Maybe close the tab. 10 by 10. Okay. So that's a good starting point. And also, I was thinking, maybe start with something simple. So one thing I want to try is to, of course, I have to rotate them and stuff like that. But another thing is that I want to have some, how do you say, the box in the grid as it is, but also some are inverted. And unfortunately, invert, you can't really pass a texture into it. So one thing I would try is the diff function. And diff function is super interesting, because if you do, let's say, just a white texture, then it will invert, because not only diff takes the subtracted texture, it will take the absolute value. So if it's negative value, it goes back to positive. Some math. Probably I wrote somewhere in the Hydra book. So I want to use this trick, and instead of solid, then it will be the same for everything. I will probably use noise. And I don't know. Of course, this is not what I want, but noise, thresh, and I want to have equal numbers of black and white. Well, sort of. And I would pixelate with the same number. I'll just put n here just to be a bit clearer. Okay, that's not bad. Maybe I add... If you look at the original one, it's actually not like completely random, but it's it has some kind of tendency. Like this has like more black background. This has more like black background here. Oh no, it's not true. It's very... This is very tricky. I'll get into that later if I have energy. But let's say this is fine. And now I want to have different cells. Like one type of cell has just half circle, and another type has 2 circles. And also they are rotated in a rather random fashion. Let's see if I can do that with, for example, modulate rotate. Because modulate rotate is basically a way to add rotation, but in a with a texture. Like it's not like uniform rotation, but some parts rotate differently. I don't know if this works. Noise. So basically it's the same thing. Maybe I just use different number just to be to randomize it. And let's say thresh 0, 0, and the multiplier would be math dot. Let's start with pi. Okay, this is not good because I didn't pixelate it. I mean, basically the same thing as the last one in the diff. Okay, surprisingly good. Now, I think there are different ways to do it, but maybe like posterize would work as well. But in this case, like I'll just simplify, because now it's like rotated complete, like pi, this is 180 degrees, or just keep it like no rotation. So I want something in between, like 90 degrees as well, or like 270 degrees. And in order to do that, I will just add this, another one, but also change this value a little bit so that they will be changed. Okay, this is really cool. And I like this, that it doesn't look like Hydra. It looks like you're using processing. And of course I would add scale 1, 9 over 16 to make it square grid. And that's already looking really good. Really good. The other thing I need before the kind of distribution thing that I wanted to work on, I have to think about how to make 2 circle, like half circles in one cell. And this is not easy, but if you think about it, what if, so let's just keep it simple. So I go back to the first thing. Oh, sorry. Yeah, just this one. This is kind of the thing I wanted, right? No. So maybe instead what I wanted was I want to repeat it somehow, but repeat won't work. So here I need to do something very tricky. Very tricky that I want to duplicate half of it. I mean, I can combine different functions and probably it's going to work, but I wonder if there is any elegant way to do that. Let me think. What if I modulate? So what if I scroll X for 0.75 and then scale 1, 2. So that's like half circle filling the space, and then repeat X 2 times, then twice. Okay, this is okay. I wouldn't call it elegant, but it's okay. And how would I... So there, like if you think about processing, for example, you can use if statement. If blah, 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 then like let's say take a noise value, then I pick this one. And the other case, else I pick this, we just modulate. So it's just half circle, no 2 half circles. In Hydra, you have to think in a very different way. By the way, I think I want to scroll it maybe 2, 5. Okay, so that it's consistent with that one. And I don't really understand why actually this modulate rotate works in this case. I mean, it's good that it's working, but I'm actually not so sure. I mean, you know what? Like something simple would be just go back to what I had. That's good. Or maybe I can just take this part here. I want to add a layer that is basically this. This. But I need to repeat it. And I also mask it with the same technique, noise, thresh, pixelate. But I want to use different value so that it won't have the same value as other modulate and diff and stuff. So this is quite interesting. Maybe it's not really clear what's happening without scaling. If you do this, then you can see that some parts are just 1 circle, half circle. Some are 2 half circles. And should I just plug this into the other parts that I had? I'll delete this so you can see the whole code. That's looking good. That's looking good. And one last thing I would like to try is to think about this distribution in the original code. I don't know if this direct translation used... Yeah, this looks like random, right? The distribution of like black and white colors. Oh, it's quite interesting, the aspect ratio. Because I think in this code, they completely randomized it somehow. Yeah, random, random, random. So they're just random. But if you look at the original artwork, it has some kind of tendency that this part is more black, this part is more white. And actually, like if you look at this middle part, it's like almost all are double circle. Oh, and I missed that. There are some these ones too, like 2 half circles, but they're like facing to each other, which is easy to make. Let's just do that first. So I did this layer thing here, and I think I have to make this smaller a bit so that you can see the code, or I can actually move the image up, but anyways, what I want to try is, so I was trying this scroll X scale repeat thingy, but what if, I think I should try this first. So I have this. Is this already good? No. Scroll X for 0.5. That's what it meant. So now I have that recipe. I put this in here. But I think this occurs less often. If you look at the original image, I mean, you have in the corner as well. This happens really rarely. So I would say let's change the mask threshold a little bit higher so that it happens less often. Ooh, no, why? Ah, okay, because I left the scale and repeat. Okay, so I think it's getting there. You can see that that thing is not happening. That's it. Like, there are some two half circles facing each other, not the same direction, but that is happening less. And we could make some more observations. No, I think so the one last thing I want to try is to make sure that, like, it has kind of this vertical area that has like some tendency of color. And I would approach that by modifying this div part. So what is this div thing? Did we see it even? Interesting. Oh, because it's stretch. Always scale it so it's not deceiving. Okay, so this is kind of random. But instead, I want to maybe stretch it. And notice that the scale, the first one is both x and y. And the second one is x. Third one is only in y direction. It's a little bit, it's not like processing that is like x and y, but here it has this kind of global xy thing, and then x and y. Why? Because then it's easy to scale in both directions at the same time. It's a like clever implementation, but at the same time sometimes confusing. So let's just stretch it in the y direction. Or maybe more. Even more. So now you can see that it's kind of stretched. But I'm actually not so happy with this. I'm not happy with this. I feel the better way to do it is like just use oscillator. Just use oscillator. Like this. And I mean, of course, if you just use oscillator, like literally, then it's just oscillator. But yeah, this is looking good. But then what I thought was, you can always modulate it with noise, for example. This is good. I mean, yeah, this is good. So let's just take this. So original code, you can see the whole thing. Well, I mean, yeah, let's just keep it like this. And what I was thinking was this diff part. Instead of just a kind of noisy texture, I put this more vertical diff, and I feel that this doesn't work. Maybe yes. Should I say this is fine? The thing is, I feel that the original one is maybe like kind of more handcrafted, because if you look at, let's say, like this 3x10, more like a column, it's more dense, yes, and dense thing has white circles. And if you look at this one, this is less dense, just one circle in the half circle inside, and the background is white. So it kind of depends on the area, the size of the area. They kind of handpick which should be the foreground, background, like which should be white and black. And to be honest, I don't know if I should work on this. This is getting a little bit like a rabbit hole, and if you're using like processing, maybe it's easier to make these conditions, but with Hydra, maybe this is okay. Or no, actually, that's not true. I could always, well, no, I think this is enough. I'm just curious, what happens if you modulate rotate before? Or does it make sense? Have to repeat. Okay, yeah, never mind. Okay. So I don't know, maybe this can be better, but I feel this is okay. I would say this is good enough, and quite happy with this result. Well, it does sound like it. But yeah, if you can like come up with like better ideas how to do it, please write in the chat, in the comment, and yeah, if you have suggestions, what you want to see in the future videos as a coding challenge. Also, maybe I can try it with Floor. That will be really fun. So let me know, and any comments are welcome. And please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks so much for watching.